All right, once again, Hari Om, and welcome to the session by Jnana Smriti. So, before starting or proceeding, I would like to introduce a little bit about Jnana Smriti. So, we, the team of Jnana Smriti, are like 4 years now old now. We are celebrating our fourth anniversary. So that is when we were thinking, okay, what do we do? Like, let's do something, like let's share some knowledge with people. That's when I think I was having a discussion with Krishna Prakash sir, and I got a thought, okay, let's try to understand the importance of Gita. That is how this session popped up. So my mother used to teach shlokas, past from 15 years plus, and there was like 25 plus kids who used to come home and learn shlokas when we were in Tumkur. And it was my wish to systematically get into this journey of learning and teaching, where we can spread about Hinduism and spread about our culture, spirituality, roots, and to a greater extent, to whatever extent possible from us. So for a few years we thought, yes, let's do it. For one or the other reason, it kept on postponing. And then I think when the pandemic came, I said, now is the time. So many kids were home at home, right? Like their parents were getting actually worried about how to occupy kids when they're all full time at home. That is when I felt, okay, fine. I think if we do at this time, even if 30, 40 kids gets benefited, we are in a good right direction. So that's when I just brainstormed a bit, looked for the name, logo, everything. And Nanasmriti took its birth. I'm happy to share that we have taught more than 600 students in this 4 years now. So we teach shlokas, Bhagavad Gita, stotrams, bhajans, and some small stories about the Shavataram, Navadurga stories, and things like that. Most of the times, Amma teaches if there is any explanations or anywhere English needed or technical help needed, back end schedule, designing of the content, or all such things will be taken care by me. I should also not forget to mention about few people who came along in this journey. One was Akanksha, who's there with me right from day one, saying, Akka, we will do it. Karkesh is there. So thank you, Akanksha, for always being there. And there were also a few more trainers who joined us in line during the journey. Like, we would also like to teach. So the model we work in, we charge a very nominal fee. Basically, we wanted to do free, but I feel anything free is not respect. We charge a nominal amount of fee, and we use 50% of it for any service activities. So if you all also know somebody who is really genuinely in need, that this student studies well, he doesn't have support for books or anything that he wants, or they need a cycle to traverse, he's really good, we can help. Any government schools or any orphanages which needs a library or computers or anything like that, whatever best we can do, we are ready to support them. So you can always let us know. So right now, this is a bit sorry, this is a bit about Gnana Smriti, how what we have been doing. Recently we did a world record attempt where 216 students recited shlokas one after the other for 36 hours 23 minutes continuously. So this was another attempt which where a lot of kids, when parents came back and said, see, world record is one side of it. Yes, you will like it, but the journey, how they learned, and how they felt good about the journey. And today when the parents come and says, my kid without me saying sits for more than 20 minutes, 30 minutes to practice shlokas only, he wants to sit and pray in front of God. So when parents say such things, I think that is our success story than anything else, is what I feel. So that is one thing. And this year, like in December, we are doing another record, which is mostly on which is mostly on Bhagavad Gita, chanting Bhagavad Gita on the occasion of Gita Jayanti also. So that is when I felt, I think this session is more apt, like, talking about the importance of Gita right from now, so that we can reach more people by December. And also, I think it is important, like, as we say, right, as they say, as we discuss, how many ever times we chant Gita or read the meanings of Gita, every time we get a new perspective, new experience. So that is how I think there is a lot to learn in Gita. So yeah, for this session, all of you have come in. Thank you so much. When I requested my yoga teacher, Krishna Prakash sir, to come forward and please speak on this topic on this occasion, he said yes. And then we also have the Venkatesh Garu, who's another great personality. I will introduce both of them formally shortly. Thank you, sir, for joining us here. So it's always the blessings of the divine grace and our parents and our well-wishers which actually makes us accomplish or progress in whatever we do. So my mother is Panacha, whom I dedicate this whole initiative of Jnana Smriti. And it's my father, Navneet Kumar. These two are like, the pillars for me who always support me, energize me in all the possible ways, saying that, yes, we are always there for you and you can do anything, like that they say. And yeah, so I think Krishna Prakash sir is also in. Hello sir.
Namaste.
Namaste sir, thank you for joining in.
Great to see you and
Yes
Venki here.
great to see you sir. So, yes. So, with this, I think a quick introduction about Krishna Prakash sir and Venkatesh Garu. So, Krishna Prakash sir is the founder of Srimat Yoga. And I mean, he is my guru or my sir, I would like to say. So, anything, when I was looking for something into the stream of yoga, should say I am blessed to get it in connect, get in touch with Srimat and Krishna Prakash sir, where like anytime I'm confused, I get answers to every question that I have. Maybe it is like yeah, I have to get into a deeper practice, but I am blessed with more whatever I could do. So he is also he steers the Indic wisdom uh, stream. He is also author of many books, right? So he's a thought leader in Indic knowledge systems, and lot more is there, which we will explore as we go. And we have Venkatesh Garu. He's working as a he has an overall experience of 23 years across sectors like CSR, finance, and business operations. He's based out of Bangalore. Currently working at EY as a global CSR social impact leader. So thank you for joining in. Both of you, welcome. And we are waiting. I think I did a lot of talking. Now I will have to do a lot of listening. Over to both of you. I think we'll start with Krishna Prakash sir. Over to you. All right. Once again, hello and welcome to the session by Jnana Smriti. So before starting or proceeding,
Is the
yes,
internet from my side is incorrect or how it is?
No, it is fine, sir. Actually, it's all fine.
Okay, okay. We will go for the regular view, no? So that we can see everybody.
Oh,
You want to do that?
yes. Yeah. I hope everybody is visible now.
Yeah, we can see. Yes.
Yes. All right.
So thanks, Bhavana, and thanks for initiatives like Jnana Smriti, who are carrying forward our culture and tradition legacy. Um, to be honest, Bhavana could have been a very successful just in a corporate or just doing business. But when she is having an inclination like this, it is very commendable. Because even if she doesn't do this, nobody is going to point a finger at her. Because always we see the way the next generation is brought up, and she has God's grace, Ritvik has been shaping up like a dream child. So there is no way you can tell her that even if she doesn't take this initiative as Jnana Smriti, there's nothing to fault. So that shows there is something, she has a greater work to do, enable things relating to our country, tradition, culture. That's the only thing we can see from all this, uh, whatever is visible to us. And grateful to my fellow traveler, Venki. And I am privy to the way he was talking on uh, a stage, meaning a E stage like this when we had Indic talks. So it was very beautifully he put forth thoughts from Ramayana from his practice perspective. I clearly know he's not a theoretically acclaimed scholar. That is one thing which is common between me and him is we try to do the practice and leave the technical and academic aspects to the scholars and vidwans. So in that aspect, I am comfortable sharing the stage with him because we both are practitioners. Okay, thank you so much. And today, Bhavana mentioned that we could speak about the importance of Bhagavad Gita in a way when all of us can benefit from that. Okay, so to begin with, Mahabharata has a lot of Gitas. So we should know what is a Gita first. Gita, anything which is coming spontaneously out of us, like people who are studying Carnatic music will know Gita is taught, then Kritis are taught. Uh, Simple English equivalent is a rapturous outpour. Spontaneously, something comes out that is called a Gitam. And here, because there are a lot of Gitas, the tag of Bhagavad Gita is given because Bhagavan himself has given us this text. So it is becoming very important for us to know this text. And a couple of important aspects to note is ours is a living tradition. And this text comes under the category of Smriti. So that also matches well with Jnana Smriti. So that is the reason I thought we should start this subject from here. Every yuga, we believe in yuga, the system of yuga, right? Yuga in English means eon, E-O-N. So the Shruti is Veda. Veda is common across yuga. For example, uh, come back to the day-to-day stuff. Many of us here who are 50 or nearing 50 know, or above 50, when we used to travel in India those days by train, we could easily get down in any station and use our water bottle to fill water from any of the tap in the railway station. So that is the way we have been brought up. Just 20, 25 years before, what happened? First, the water quality went down, then the water table went down, the chemical infestation started, and we also started to move to mineral water. Now, in mineral water, also, you are moving to alkaline water, and all those things are happening. But if you notice, whichever era we lived, water only will quench the thirst. That cannot be changed. But the way you handle water changes. Correct? Similarly, Shruti is something we cannot live without. Shruti is always there because that is the source of creation itself. No. Veda is the manual of creation. So you cannot be without that. But depending on the era we live in, the masters and the living traditions will give us the essence of the Veda in the form which we can digest. So Bhagavad Gita as a text did not exist before Mahabharata war, probably because people could sit under the feet of their teachers and understand the Upanishads as it is. When the Kali Yuga started, our intellectual capability began to diminish. Okay, now again, forget the Kali Yuga, intellectual diminishing. Many of the children here and the elders may think, these are all mumbo jumbo, how it is. Now I am asking a simple question. How many of you even remember your mother's mobile number? We don't remember. But if you ask me my childhood, my home number, I know 045124222611. Finished. So in this era, in the last 15 years, the advent of mobile phone itself has brought our intelligence down. Though we are using smartphone, we are the dumbest generation. The name is smartphone. Okay, for an emergency, we don't even know whose number to call, but we have all the data with us. Imagine this much degeneration of memory can happen in 15, 20 years. Over thousands of years, how much it would have degenerated. If we go and ask our mother and father, they will easily say our family tree, who was born in which nakshatra, how to see the Panchanga. English date we remember. They remember both the Gregorian calendar date plus the our Ashada Shukla Chaturdasi mein this boy was born, this name, all that they will tell us. If you ask our own children, we will say, let me see the birth certificate and tell, or see the horoscope and tell the time. So our ability to hold information has diminished. I hope nobody can dispute this fact. Correct? Now, multiplying 20 by 20, we need a calculator. So this is how our intellectual ability and memory is reducing very rapidly. So our ancients knew this is going to happen every era. That is the reason they didn't give us the difficulty of studying the Upanishads and digesting. They created the Smriti texts. So what are the Smriti texts? These texts give the essence of the Shruti. Shruti Bhagavati is how my teacher addresses the Veda. Because she is mother herself, Veda Mata herself. That essence is given to us in the Smriti texts. So the Smriti text of the era we live, the primary text is Bhagavad Gita, the Smriti text. And it gives us only jnana of dharma. Today we are always having dharma sankata. That's the word we use. So when someone takes up to the study of the text like Bhagavad Gita, first we all will get clarity of what is dharma. So how can we say that? Many of us may think, how is it possible to say that our ancients wrote texts in a particular way? Like today you submit a project report, they will say, what is the executive summary? I don't have time to read 50 pages. Can you tell me in a nutshell, what is this all about? When the boss asks, or even at home, between the spouses, you want to plan buying of a refrigerator or going for a trip. Imagine one of the spouse is really busy, but they are good, no problem. But time is scarcity. What they will say, it's okay, you have done the research, right? I'm absolutely okay with it. Can you tell me the summary essence, how much I should transfer? Do you have GST? Basic things we give them. Like that, the gist of the Upanishads is found in Bhagavad Gita. This is the first understanding we should have. Because we are living in a time and age where memory and intellect is diminishing, the tradition has given this text so that we don't go away from the reality that the purpose of life is to know who we are. In many cultures, people are still grappling with what is the purpose of life. But for us in the Indic systems, it is clearly said the purpose of life is to know who you are. Without knowing who you are, whatever goals you set for yourself may not be your goals. So what will happen? Somebody living in your apartment complex did engineering, your parents made you study engineering. This is how we are living now. Correct? So instead of it, if the parents are also given the knowledge, what is dharma? Their dharma is the children have come through them, but to enable the child is their dharma, not to force what they think on the child is dharma. That is actually adharma. This is why a lot of chaos in the society. So this text is required for elders, youngsters, and everybody. Once someone asked my teacher, why are we studying Bhagavad Gita now? We can study it post-retirement. Then we will have people doing pravachana at the temple. After retirement, we will not have anything. Instead of seeing television, we can go and see. Listen to Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads. What is the point in implementing the truth in life after you have retired and when nobody is going to listen to you? As it is, nobody listens to anybody nowadays, right? That includes, we also don't listen to ourselves. That level we have gone. Okay. So we should learn these things when we have the intellect to understand, the time to implement some lessons. Will we be happy post-retirement or we want to be happy now? So if you know the truth enshrined in the texts, you will be happy now. Your goals will become clear. You will align your goals as per dharma. You will understand, yeah, as a grihastha, my role is to generate wealth. I don't need to feel bad for generating wealth as long as I generate wealth as per dharma. This is a liberating feeling, right? Yes, I can go to vacation. I can enjoy my life because I deserve a break. I am working very hard, but I will do it as per dharma. So our culture is not a kill joy culture. It is telling enjoy as per dharma. So this kind of clarity we will get when we study great text like Bhagavad Gita, because the first word of the text is naturally telling dharma. So this is another reason why we should be taking up to the study of these texts. Second, this text will help right from children to elders. What it will do, it will help us to become what the Japanese made very famous. It is called process orientation. So they have SEI CMM, SEI PMM, like that for people management, process management. They told the world, let us focus on the process, the result will take care of its own. It is said in some other words in our texts. We don't need to worry, oh, what they said in Japan, now we are following. It is okay, better late than never. So what we are telling, Karmanyevadikaraste, that shloka says, please focus on what is in your plate. Do the process to the perfection. When your complete attention is on the process, the results will take care. Imagine if we say our child at home, instead of comparing the child to your uncle's grandson or your colleague's daughter, these are all rubbish. If we enable the child, see, whatever you can, you study. However, I have to enable you, I'll enable you. You are unique, so you cannot be compared. Will the child not feel empowered? Then you tell the child, see, what is stopping you from concentration? You tell me, I will help you out. Instead of talking, you behave that way with the child. So the child will know you are not only talking, you are helping the child. And when you become process oriented, slowly the child will understand, oh, my duty is right now as a student to study well. So I will do study well. If I have any problem, I will ask my parents. It will slowly start becoming close to you because you are not judging the child and you are trying to help the child to do the process, which is studying well. So maybe you will adjust your television viewing time. You will start giving the child nutritious food instead of junk food. All that when you create that ambience, you will be seen as the by the child that, oh, my parents are becoming process oriented. I will also focus on what I can do, which is in my hand. I will not be worried too much about the results because the teacher is going to correct the paper. Correct? Like us in every home, every student is under pressure. So when we become process oriented and demonstrate that to the child, without talking Bhagavad Gita, when you demonstrate, the child will also focus on the present moment and do the process of studying well, clearing the doubts. And after writing the test, it will be aram se, it will be there. Because according to it, it has done its best. So first thing we will know when you study about dharma is each of us is unique. We have no business to compare ourselves or our child with anybody. So in one stone, two mangoes we are getting, no? You are having that is how we have to understand these kind of studies. Then next time, in English, we say don't cry over the spilt milk. You can't go and clean it, no. It is already spilled. So what you have to do, every time you do, keep your mind attention. Even if you are serving water to somebody, serve it as if nobody else can serve water better than you. Imagine the child is seeing how you are dealing with the elders, the guests, the best possible way you are serving. Obviously, the child will go and do the same. The best. This is what he says, yogaha karmashu kaushalam. Whatever you are doing, you do to the best. You don't even need to tell the child, guests are there, give water. If you are caught up in the kitchen, the child will come and ask, Amma, can I serve water? What should I tell the guests? Where can I make them sit? You prepare the home, not just only when the guests are coming. Always you try to keep the home right. Then the child will also do the same thing. Again, this is yoga karmashu kaushalam. Not just reading some textbook and having philosophical conversations and coming home and blasting people. That any idiot can also do, right? Today, computer and artificial intelligence also can do that job. So as a human being, this is how we bring in excellence, even folding a newspaper, folding the bed sheet when you get up in the morning. These are all bringing excellence into action. You can immediately connect this with Bhagavad Gita. So the child will understand, oh, if I start studying this text, I will get a lot of inputs in life. So let me do that study. Correct? So this is the way we can bring in the aspects of Gita into day-to-day life. Is there any specific question, or I would like to conclude in next 2-3 minutes? Is it okay, Bhavana?
Sure, sir. So if anybody has any questions, you can just put it in the chat window, or you can unmute and ask the questions, no problem.
I don't know. I suddenly treated all of you as children. I don't know why this happened today, but it is okay, I guess.
Yes, sir, definitely.
You are the reason, Bhavana. Okay. So this is how I have been taught by my teacher, that you approach Bhagavad Gita like how you would approach your mother. Whatever you need at whichever age you are, mother knows in your home. Similarly, she will give you that knowledge. That's a simple thing I want to say and conclude. This is why we worship the texts. And with all reverence, you worship, bow down before her and say, please reveal what I need to understand at this stage of life. Then she will do the needful with that humility. Okay. So with that, I am just concluding. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Krishna Prakash sir. I think a lot of things to carry with us with your words, though it was a short one. I think um, actually the way to life, as they say, right? Like how we live, then our next generation follows, and the environment which we give, that is what impacts the other people at home. Maybe it is mutual. Sometimes we learn from our kids also. It's and we have to accept the fact, right, as they grow in. So yeah, if one or the other person starts the journey, that I think then the whole home is inclined towards that. And yes, Gita has answers for a lot of our daily living, which you shared in very simple, nice words. Thank you so much. And to just give a heads up to everybody, I mean, just to add, right. So Krishna Prakash sir has been, in this journey, right? He's been teaching and talking about the ancient traditions, and he's connected to Adi Shankara's Advaita Sampradaya and Nata Sampradaya. So he's been imparting this timeless wisdom through generations, we can say, because he's doing this from almost 20 years. As I see, sir, thanks for your time. It is my blessing and pleasure that you agreed to be part of this today. So as we continue, I think I now invite Venkatesh to enlighten us with his experience and his view on Gita and why he thinks Gita is important for all of us.
Thank you, Bhavana. First, congratulations to you and Jnana Smriti on your 4th anniversary. Really commendable work. I must admit, I didn't know much about the work your organization is doing, but I learned about it today. And it is really commendable that you have been teaching kids about Bhagavad Gita. And in my own experience of listening to Bhagavad Gita, it really gives not just a soothing feeling, but also it gives solitude. While you're listening to something, it gives solitude. Plus, I don't know Sanskrit, but I'm able to catch the words, and from whatever I've heard, I'm able to pick up a lot of things. So now, when I imagine you teaching kids Bhagavad Gita, they're reciting, they're learning when they grow up. You are giving them, something for them to mine in future. They don't know what they're getting, but they actually are getting a lot of wealth in terms of knowledge that they will realize, use in their life journey in future. So that's a great work you and your organization is doing. Appreciate that. And thank you, Krishna, for referring me, inviting me to join this. I think listening to you and this itself is for me is a pleasure, right? Always listening to you. And I must say you touched upon spreading very, very good things, Shruti Smriti, right? Excellence. And I was just pondering, and why you touched upon Shruti Smriti, right? I know when we were growing up, there, right, was always there. And people have been taught, learned, all Gurukulas was teaching Shrutis. Why did the God has to take an incarnation, come down and teach a Smriti, right, in the middle of battleground? And I think there is a reason, right, to do that, because I think at that age, probably the Shruti was not enough for all the common people to decode and understand their path, or to clarify their confusions of life journey and what they go through, why they go through, and how do they, navigate, maneuver those and still get to the path. So Smriti was probably given to those people who cannot necessarily use Shruti, which is also a great, path to kind of get yourself knowledge, and then through that also you can attain or achieve, the knowledge path. But I think God had to give the Smriti for people like us and many people who can also benefit from this and learn from the Bhagavad Gita. So that's a great thing. And I think excellence is another keyword that whatever you do, you just be the best at it. And you should set a benchmark. And I think I can relate this to, I will relate this to as I speak about to what we do, we all set to do for ourselves. It's about setting a benchmark. I think if you ask anybody in this call or anybody that you meet about what they want to do, and if you ask them what is the benchmark they want to set for themselves, they will always say, I want to set the highest benchmark. Nobody wants to set a lower benchmark for what they want to do, achieve, because nobody accepts anything that is lower, right? So that is the same thing in excellence. What I see is that if you set the benchmark of excellence and be that in what you do, that is also a way to, lead to that path of enlightenment or realization. I think I wanted to talk about few things. I will see. It's always hard to talk after the Krishna, but I'll try to do justice to what I can. I think for me, after being associated with Srimad, what's been different to me, right, from what I other teachings, whatever I've learned, is the way we are learning Gita and the teachings now is further decoded to the current generation and how we see current life, right? And this is, I think, the greatest thing for us is when we actually go back and realize from our experiences, while the Bhagavad Gita was recited, Krishna taught it to Arjuna in a battlefield in the prior yuga, 5,000 years back, right? That timeline that we give, the teachings were still taught in such a way that it is always relevant for ages, eras to come, generations to come, provided we learn it that way, right? We always have to relate ourselves, our life to those teachings, those characters. Who is Arjuna, right? When we are learning, we always say, put yourself in Arjuna's shoes when you are in doubt, when you're in confusion, and then listen to what the God is trying to tell you. How is he guiding you to read the situation, understand, and how do you navigate? So I think with Srimad and people like Krishna, when we learn, what we understand is the teachings of Bhagavad Gita or a Ramayana is always relatable as long as we learn to relate it to ourselves, our life, right, and our experiences. I think experience is also very, very important. We go through a lot of day-to-day experiences. As long as we learn to relate it to that, you have a learning coming out of it. You can always know what did they do, how did they handle it, what is Krishna's teaching in Bhagavad Gita for such a situation, and then how do you navigate it. So I think that's how I look at it. And I think the key element, this might be repeated, but I'm going to still reiterate, because I think the core of Bhagavad Gita is, why did Bhagavad Gita had to be taught in a battleground, right? At the beginning of a big battle that we all know, why did it had to be taught to Arjuna, who's the key warrior, right? He's a key warrior, and it had to be taught to him in the middle of a battlefield. That is because a lot of us, when we look at our life and when we focus on our life, we primary focus always goes on problems, right? And we all focus on the situations where we are put into trouble. We will have to bail out of trouble, and we are always confused of what do I do in this? Who do I look up to? Or what is the right thing to do, right? How do I take that decision? And that is actually a battleground. If you see that it is a battle, we just don't see it as a battle, but day-to-day life is about that battling, right? How do I take the right decision for my kids? Like Krishna was talking about now, if our kids are not studying well in school, as a parent, we are thinking, what do I do about it? How do I get them back on the path? If our kids want to do something else and not so much in academics, we are confused. How do I encourage them? Right? So if there is troubles in office, many of us work in office, right? We go through a day-to-day problem in office. Something we are doing is not going well. How do we navigate through that? So these are all battlefields, nothing but battlefields that we go through every day, small little battlefields. Some are small, some are big. Sometimes we go through a larger problem, I would say, right? So all of this is battlefield, and for all of this, the actual solution is in Bhagavad Gita. If you read and understand related, and that is why Krishna taught it in battlefield, saying you need a guidance framework for you to always understand when you are in trouble or when you are in confused state of what to do. You use this framework and you think what you are supposed to do that time, take that decision. Sometimes logically it may not sound good because we are applying the current framework or current I would say the surrounding framework set by somebody else, but always follow this framework of who you are in that situation, what are you supposed to do, right? For example, what Krishna mentioned, dharma artha kama moksha, right? What you are doing, do it as per dharma. So that's a framework given to us. So that framework we have to use, and that's why he taught Arjuna, saying, in this situation, what's your dharma? Who you are? You are a warrior. You are not a grandson of Bhishma. Now you are no more student of Drona in this situation. You are a warrior. You are representing your brothers, the Pandavas, right? And you are here for a battle for dharma, not just for yourself. I think that's also always a confusion we all get into, right? Sometimes if we think I'm doing it for myself, so let me think what is the right thing. Sometimes I think I'm doing it for somebody else. That clarity of what we are doing and why, right, is very important. When that clarity comes, the decision is easier to take. So that leads us to the dharma, right? So dharma is the framework, and while artha kama is what we're saying, artha kama is basically leading from the actions that we take in our day-to-day life. So many times the end result is an artha kama, right? The money you earn, the luxuries you get is all the result, but the action is happening in day-to-day life where we are going to office, we're working, we're handling situation where somebody is not doing a good work at office. We have to coach them, guide them. In schools, teacher goes through this trouble. Not every student is same. Some student is studying well, some student is not studying well, some student is good in math, some student is not good in math. So how do they deal with situation? For this, dharma is the framework. I mean, this is the framework, but I know it's not common. It's not easy for everyone to follow. We don't find people, but this is actually the framework given to us. If I were to take an example of a school, of a student, there are many parents here, right? If there are 10 students in a classroom, 5 of them are good in maths. They're studying maths well. 5 are not studying maths well. They're not good in maths. The teacher, technically, if they were to follow the dharma framework, they would find out why the other students are not doing well in maths. Is it an interest subject, not an interest subject? Are they good in something else? Right? And help and encourage them on that rather than pushing them to learn maths and become same as the other 5. Because we are all unique, right? Like Arjuna was the key warrior. The Dhritarashtra, the Dharmaraya, his brother was not the key warrior. Krishna didn't teach him. Though there are 5 brothers, he is the elder one. He didn't have the role of Arjuna. What we don't understand is we're all different, we're all unique. We have our own roles, we have our own dharmas to do something that we're born for. But mostly what we all end up doing, whether it is in our family with our own kids, in our school, or in office with our colleagues and others, we try to compare everyone to one benchmark and try and see we're all going to that benchmark, doing the same thing, if we're all excel in that. If not, we try to, evaluate each other, judge each other accordingly, right? And I think that is not the right way. So basically, in that, there are 2 things that I see, right? In my own experience, what I've learned is while we recognize our dharma, which is called swadharma, right? So if my swadharma is to work in my office in my capacity of the role to do the job that I'm given. My Swadharma is also to recognize the other person I'm working, understand what is their Swadharma, and complement to that. Likewise, a student and teacher both have their Swadharma. A parent and a kid have their Swadharma, but they also understand the other person's Swadharma and complement and respect it. Many times we don't do that. We just think the other person should be behaving or doing the way we think it is, and we force that. That's when the conflict arises, whether it's a conflict at home, whether it's a conflict at workplace, anywhere the conflict arises. When the conflict arises is when we are in, actually, we basically get that the feeling that everything is not good, the life is not okay, rather than doing what is right. So I think basically the day-to-day life, if we follow this framework, it will help us a lot. And I think, like Krishna was telling, we were also trying to decode Ramayana in the same way. Both for me, both Ramayana, Bhagavad Gita, and Mahabharata are all giving us the similar teachings. But there is a different reason why both the incarnations happened. But the learning from a life standpoint is similar. So I think for today's life, if you say, like Krishna was telling, we have to probably try to learn with smallest problems. Many of the the worries, the current generation, depressions, many things are all actually related to smallest problems, which we go back 20 years, 30 years, and when we look at our childhood, those problems didn't exist. For us, for our generation in that age, those were not the problems. But in the current generation, there are small little things because of which, the children are getting worried. Because of that, the parents are getting worried, whether it is because of studying, education, right? Or even other things. I think I can even look at kids right currently getting worried, depressed because they don't get phones, they don't get the clothes they want, even smaller little things than that, right? All of those things, kids are getting worried, and it's leading to a lot of mental illness, I would say, imbalance, right? I think if we learn to use this framework and even to whatever extent guide our kids, the next generation, it will help a lot for us to go through the day-to-day life in a more peaceful way, which will actually then lead us to a larger thing, which is the journey that we are trying to take, which is obviously self-realization. But I think self-realization, what I kind of understood is, this is the path, the roadmap. As long as we're walking in the path, this roadmap, the destination will come when it is due. But walking in this without getting tired and stressed is the key thing, because only then it will take us to our own destination when it is due, when we are due for it. So I think with that, I'll conclude. Any questions, thoughts?
Thank you so much, sir. I think, yeah, as you said, in every environment, not only it's not at home at all, but wherever we are, understanding our Swadharma and understanding the other person's Swadharma and then living up to the moment is what make it more, good and pleasing situation for everybody. I think that is one good thing. And overall, all good words, nice words from you, which will help us for a better life. Thank you so much, Venki sir. So I think to the team here, everybody, if you're okay, please come on to the video, and you can share if you have any questions or you want to share any thoughts on this topic, right? Importance of Gita, like while you are exploring the journey of Gita, if you have come across anything that you feel is good to share with this group, you could say any questions you have to the experts of today's talk, you could always put up the questions and we can talk about that. So feel free to share your questions in the chat window, or because we are only 21, 22 of us, you can unmute and ask your question, share your experiences, thoughts, feedback, suggestions, anything is okay. So yeah, if anybody wants to ask anything, you can go ahead now. Anybody, any questions? All right. So if no questions, Then thank you everyone for being here. I have a question. So Krishna Prakash sir and Venki sir, we always say at least dedicating small time every day will help us lead to consistency, and then that way we will be able to uh, learn more. So do you want to say anything about this, like how we can make Gita part of our daily life, like while trying to, I know everybody runs busy, sometimes people want to do it but we say we don't have time, so a lot of things keeps happening. So would you suggest anything or guide us in that direction?
We can try to just read one shloka a day. Let it take 2 years. So 365 plus 365, 730 days. It has 700 shlokas. So 1 month you take chutti also. No problem. 30 days. One shloka a day. See whether we understand or we don't understand. Just read it, no? And you read it with the bhava, you are conversing with your mother.
Yes.
The case is a bit different here. When you are a child, you conversed with your mother in a language which you didn't understand, she didn't understand, but she still responded to you. So the great texts, you don't need to worry like how you study a modern day text that I will study it to understand. You study it because you revere that text. And in time, you will meet someone who will help you to understand. So to keep the tradition alive, we have to study. Okay. So that is the only thing that's coming to mind.
Sure,
And
sir.
Venki
Thank
can
you so
also share
much.
because he is also on this.
No, Krishna, I think you hit the nail on the head. I was thinking I would say one chapter a day takes 20 minutes or so, which is what I literally saw. But I think what you have given is probably the simplest way, to do it.
Sure. Thank you so much, Krishna Prakash sir and Venki sir on this. So Rajalakshmi BS, she's saying, thank you so much. It was a great guidance. Thank you so much for being part of the session. Um, So I would also like to add, like, Krishna Prakash sir has a, session where every Saturday, 8 p.m., he tries to unveil Gita for all of us to make life more simpler. So if anybody from the audience, so with your permission, I would invite them to be part of this journey where all of us get to learn a bit as we progress in this journey. So if any of you all are interested to be part of this journey, get in touch with me and I can share the WhatsApp group to all of you, whoever wants to be part of this. So Sarika Desai, she has a question. Any specific book or resource you advise for reading shlokas? Sir, you're on
The
mute.
easiest is visit Ramakrishna Mat or their website. Okay. Many of the Swamis have written the commentary on Adi Shankara's approach. I mean, that commentary. So you could pick up any book from Ramakrishna Mat, which is based on Bhagavad Gita. Just when you go there or when you read about it, you can, that is the easiest way to go about. But when you are in the corporate and other side you wanted to do, you may pick up Swami Ranganathananda's 3 volumes on Bhagavad Gita from Ramakrishna Mat. He also has written a shorter book called The Charm and Power of Gita. First, we can pick up that book and study. Then these 3 books will help us.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. Thanks for bringing up that question. I think it answers many people's question also in a way. Thank you so much, Krishnaji. So yeah, any other questions that's coming up? Okay. See, I see Kalyani ji being part of this session. I think Amma, you are one of the senior most person attending the session. Anything that you would like to share on this forum? It'll be like a blessing for all of us to hear.
ನಿಜನಾಲು ಸತು ದೀರ್ಘಕಾಲ ನಿರಂತರ ಸತ್ಕಾರ ಸಹಿತ ದೃಢಭೂಮಿ ಯೋಗ ಮಾಸ್ಟರ್ also there no, so it's not 1 day or 2 days. Satu Dirghakalena, we have to practice daily. At least one shloka he is saying no, like that only, one more shloka only. The whole mala will be the for Krishna's. Charanarinda, Sharanagata Dinartha. That Sharanagata is the most important thing. Whatever it may be, the Sharanagata Vatsare. I am seeing you as a Lalita.
Thank you.
Bhavani Bhavana Gamya Bhavaranya Kutarika. So Bhavasagar se tarne wali Bhavani. Oh, you are doing very good job, ma. I am very happy. So,
Thank
namaskaram.
you. Thank you so much, Amma. Thank
Jai
you so
Bhavani.
much for the nice words.
I used to say always Bhavani, Bhavani. So I got you as a Bhavana. So I'm very happy, ma.
Okay, Ma. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining in, and thanks for all the nice words as well. Yes. So, yeah, I think with this, we have reached almost to the end of the session. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in today. Thank you so much, Venki sir and Krishna Prakash sir, for joining and enlightening us, guiding us to inspiring us in the journey of Gita to learn more and do more. So, with your permission, like yeah, Jnana Smriti, as I said, recently completed one record in December. We have Gita Jayanti. On this occasion, we are using this opportunity to create a Gita chanting world record, where we want, as I said, yeah, world record is one place, but one thing that you can feel accomplished about. But the other intent is, in the journey, we will reach out to many people. People will start learning. So I'm saying, like, at least one chapter you need to recite for this. So, willingly, unwillingly, parents force anything, we will get into the journey where slowly this becomes the beginning and the journey is way long to go. So last time we did 30 hours. This time we have kept a target of 60 hours for ourselves. And we are looking like maybe we will reach more than 100 hours of continuous chanting of Gita. With all of your guidance, blessings, and well wishes, definitely we will succeed, is what I'm looking forward for. If any of you all want more details or you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. I'll be happy to help you all with whatever queries you have, and let us make this attempt more successful, and with all of your support and blessings, and let's all join hands, is what I would like to say. So thank you. Jnana Smriti is just 4, and there's a long way to go for all of us. While meeting all great personalities in the journey, learning, teaching, everything is part of it. I would always love to be a learner as we move on. So, yeah. I would thank my parents and God for guiding me and allowing me to be what I am today, which is where I'm able to make a bit of contribution, maybe beyond my life. Thank you so much, everyone. Let us conclude the session with a small closing shloka. Swasti prajabhya paripalayantam न्यायेन मार्गेण महिं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु लोकाः समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु लोकाः समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु. Thank you, everyone. With all of your permission, I am ending today's meeting. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bhavana.
Yes,
Good luck
thank
to
you.
your organization and you.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Bhavana. Thank you, Venkatesh
Thank you.
Guruji. Thank you, Krishna Guruji.
Thank you all.